wonder how the scene will play out if the protagonist were to die before the series end. This is perhaps the closest you can get. It's uncertain how the series will end, really, but if it leads to sadness, then this is a sneak preview. Hoken is gone, but at what cost? Rebiko has escaped to Gyo, now that his trump card has been defeated. It wouldn't be long now before he confronts Kanki. That should be interesting. It doesn't mean Osen will let him free. Eventually, Rebiko will have to deal with two top men. No doubt he is in the worst position, but maybe he can somehow make it balance. Osen orders Denrinmi, who likes to do hand gestures, to send men to chase after Rebiko. This should be a certain victory for them. However, the problem arises when Moten and others realize Hishin unit isn't moving, even when they were closest to the target. You know it's serious when Osen orders Denrinmi to send someone to check immediately. Usually, he tends to let the side to work itself out, but this is severe enough to not ignore. From here on out, the rest of the chapter is pure dreary, sorrowful, and heartbreaking. It's pretty morbid to look at the silent page with everyone breaking down into tears while Ten stares at the sight that practically took her life away. The reaction from every member feels real. Each portrays their character well, and when it comes to breaking it, it's tear-jerking. If this isn't the best example of strong man can cry, then I don't know what is. Once the captain falls, the unit falls. It's depressing to say the least. Bihei is carrying Shin's body desperately to wake him up. This is painful. It's like losing a brother all over again. Danae is in full denial mode, will not give in the thought of Captain's demise. The most morbid moment is when the body drops and everyone can see the face. It's downright disturbing. Don't need to be bloody to feel this way. It speaks heavily when N throws up at the sight. That's the reaction when someone sees a dead man. And that's what Shin is. A dead man. Danae still doesn't buy it. One of the part that hits me is Sugen. He examines the body, only to receive nothing but negative results. He practically tells everyone to accept the fate, but even he can't hold back his tears. I don't recall if we ever see him crying, like Snow White Disney film with Grumpy's tears. This hits me hard. Strong man can cry. The scene shifts to outside perspective view with Akakin. Notice Shin has fallen. Although some man couldn't believe the unit is frozen in state, he knows how they function. The ship cannot move without its captain. Nothing they can do, so they just move on to Rebiko's head. As for new cadets, they are far away from the site, but what they heard left them in pain. Could you imagine if Shosa was alive to see this moment? I can't say I'm glad he's not around. For all we know, they're chatting in the afterlife. It's just tragic. Hyro makes his way to see Shin, squeeze his way to join in the wake. Danae is still not giving up. Sadly, he finally comes to acceptance. The big man breaking into tears is another part that hits me hard. Let's be honest, it's easier to say we accept death when the time comes. But when the time does come, we may end up reacting otherwise. In short, I can't blame him at all. Sosui even breaks into tears, and this was the guy who didn't cry for Shosa. Everyone else is either in state of shock or in tears. The last part that hits me, and probably the hardest, is Ten. Keep in mind, she has been with Shin since the very beginning. They fought through hell and lived. Every step is one step closer for Shin to become the great general. That dream was close to become a reality. And this is how it ends. What I find emotional is how Ten speaks for everyone. They too went through hell and live to this day. Some were unfortunate to lose their lives. But if there's one thing that cannot break, it's loyalty. Everyone loved their captain. All they wanted is to see him fulfill his destiny. That can't happen anymore. Ten cries heavily, and everyone follows. It doesn't help that she holds feelings for him, so that's more than enough to lose the will to move. Multiple panels have men crying. Still find it hard to believe it myself. I know something will happen, but this scene has me weakened. In the midst of tear-jerking, Kyokai approaches to Ten, asking her to move aside. The chapter ends with a determined face, implying she has a plan to wake Shin up. I don't know what the idea is, but I hope it's not a life exchanging ploy. I know Shin would stay down, but I wonder what Haru-sensei has in mind with this scenario. Surely it will have consequences to bring him back to life. This was a depressing chapter. If the series ending ends with happiness, then this is the closest you can get to witness the tragic fate. Regardless, this was hard-hitting. The raw emotions struck me. So many tears were shed, including those who hardly, if not ever, does. The ending leaves room for many possibilities, whatever Kyokai has in mind. Let's hope it's not a life for a life. We cannot afford to lose any character anymore. And that will do it for the review. I hope you enjoyed this one. I have heard there's a spoiler out, and it does reveal Kyokai's intention. I don't want to read it. I am going to wait for the official chapter, but I should have the review early next time. What do you think of this chapter? Share your thoughts in the comment section. If you like this and want more of this, subscribe to my channel, and my world will be yours to stay. Until next time, take care.